Welcome everyone to the first episode of the Canine Conversions Podcast. Today we have a special guest, a very good friend of mine. He's been in the dog training niche for 10 years. Someone that I really look up to, someone who's, very humble, even though he's gotten great success with this. So I would like to introduce you, Mr. Josh Avila. How you doing, brother?
Doing well, man. How you been?
Pretty good, pretty good. Excited and a little nervous to start this podcast. Something that I've been procrastinating, but it's something that it has to be done.
Taking the action, man. That's all that matters. Taking the action, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's one of the things that, like I've been really good at is just taking action. Sometimes I do take a little long to take it, but I know it's always in the back of my head. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And so far it's been doing, it's been good,
Yeah. The last few months have been a little crazy.
Right.
You
I feel
know,
a
it's
little
all, it's
crazy.
all about that. I'm right there with you, though. Like, in all reality, with taking the action, I'm right there with you. Like, have the ideas, know what you got to do, and then just pulling that trigger, you know. But it's all in your head. It's all in our head. Yeah. At the end of the day, like, we're our own worst enemies. So, like, I'm dealing with it right now personally. So it's all good.
We're not humans, right? It all as long I always say, as long as we just, take the action, even if it's just, taking it a little longer, as long as you just do it, I feel like that just goes a long way. Just because I feel like a lot of people are just in that mentality where they're just like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, but they never do it.
Yeah. Yep. Right there. Right there with you. So, like, I was that person, to say
Yep.
the least. I was that person for a while, and good mentorship and finding the right people kind of give you that little kick over the edge, so to say, right? And yeah,
Yeah,
bro, just free for all right now. We're along for the ride. So
exactly.
super interesting to say the least. Yeah. It's a struggle day to day sometimes, but hey, that's why we do it, right?
Exactly. If it was easy, everyone will be doing it, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Awesome, Josh. So, Josh, I kind of want to, talk a little bit about, I know you said that you've been, dog training for 10 years. I would like to know, and, like your story behind that. Like, how did you get started in dog training and like why?
Kind of interested, honestly. So, growing up, wasn't really allowed to have a dog. In all reality, it's kind of funny. Parents were not about that animal life, to say the least. Eventually, we did get one. It was a little it was a cocker spaniel. Yeah, it was a little cocker spaniel. He was a little monster, to say the least. Right. So, like, we couldn't train him for anything. And my uncle, who was in the military, actually, came to stay with us because he got orders from over from Spain back to the U.S. So he
Yeah.
needed kind of like a bridge to, like, figure out housing for himself and his family. So they moved in with us, and he kind of took over, like, working with the dog, but it was more of that old school. Let me roll up some newspaper, right? Some newspaper with some tape around it, and dog would do something wrong, and he would, like, tap him in the nose. So that was, like, my experience to dog training, to say the least. But getting into dog training, or just becoming interested more in the training aspect of the dogs, it probably came around when I was about 22, 23-ish, give or take.
Mm.
At that time, I was a deputy sheriff in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and my little sister actually played really hardcore travel softball. And, I used to go to her games all the time, go score, go watch, because she was a beast, to say the least. She actually was on the Puerto Rico national team for a few years,
Mm.
while she played. So it was crazy. Like, it turned out to be crazy. But I would go to our games and then just sit in the stands with other parents, family members and whatnot, and just cheer on. And one of the parents of the girls on her team happens to own a pretty big police canine military company.
Mhm.
So I showed up one day, left work, showed up in uniform, and just happened that he was sitting next to my parents. I sat down with them, started chatting. He was like, "Oh, you're law enforcement." I was like, "Yes, sir." Just, kind of finished my shift. And he was like, "Oh, I used to be a cop when I was younger." He was like, "I was actually the canine handler for the police department. I actually own a canine company now." So I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." He was like, "Yeah, man." So, just every time we would see each other, we'd just talk about it. Kept mentioning, "Hey, well, why don't you come on out and hang out if you want, see what we do." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, sure." I'm like 22 years old. Like, yeah, my days off. Absolutely. I'm going to want to spend it working more. Like, no, absolutely not, man. Like, that's not happening. Like, I want to go hang out with the friends, you know what I mean? To, go hang out with the boys, go drink, do whatever. And I don't know, one day I just happened to be in the area where his kennel facility was, didn't have nothing going on. So, because I was actually having problems with a little pitty that I ended up, you know, adopting.
Hmm.
He was like, "Yeah, come on out." Shot him a text. I asked him if I could swing through. He was like, "Yeah, come on out." So I went over there, kind of walked me around the facility, bunch of kennels, a bunch of military working dogs going crazy, and, started like just showing me what they did here and there, and, showing me some clips of videos and things like that. And I was like, bro, that's pretty cool. Like, you got dogs like jumping out of cars, chasing people. Like, you got them like biting people out, man. That's dog. Like, I thought you were talking like sit, stay, like stuff like that.
Hmm.
It was nothing like that. Watching the videos, like I got those big eyes, like, oh man, that's dope. And a lot of it, honestly, at that time was probably ego, to say the least. It was just like, dude, I want to be a badass. I can do that. Like, I want to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Hey, if I get this skill set, I can evolve in the department that I'm in and get out of just the position that I was in at the time. So I was like, cool. Like, can I come out again? He was like, yeah, whenever you want. I was young and dumb. He just wanted free labor, to say the least, right? So, I showed up. I showed up every day on all my days off that I was able to get out there. I would go over there, and all I did was clean kennels. I did not touch a dog. I did not put a leash on a dog outside of just moving it from this kennel to this kennel so I can go clean the pee and the poop from these crazy dogs that did nothing but pee and poop and play in it. So
Hmm.
it was a lot of fun. So I did that, probably, on and off 6 months, give or take, just in terms of length, not 6 months straight, like every day, but just the days that I could go, and did that for a while. And eventually that turned into, hey, do me a favor, go get this dog. All right. So I would go grab that dog for him and bring him into like the training area for him. And then I would just hang out and watch what he did and just became kind of addicted to it. And then, he did it the right way with me. He made me earn it in all reality. And before I even touched the dog to do any kind of like, here's how you sit, it was, you got to learn how to work a leash. And I would play around with a long lead with a ammo can. It was definitely fun just learning how to work a lead. And then that ammo can turned into his son, with a belt on his belt loop. And his son was a jerk, to say the
Hmm.
least. He was younger and he was a jerk. Learning that initial stage of just working a leash was super, super beneficial. And then it was, hey, hold this dog for me. So then I would hold the dog, and then that turned it, okay, I need to work this dog on whatever it was at the time. So, little by little, I kind of evolved a little bit more and just started just showing up randomly, and met some really, really good people in the process. A lot of good names, a lot of knowledge in the dog training world. Yeah, and, they just kind of passed what they knew down and became addicted to it. So was doing that. Eventually ended up being able to help actually start the canine program at the department I was at.
Hmm. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it was
Like
crazy.
you started it?
No, well, I didn't start it. So I initially, like, I brought it up to them initially, and, a smaller department, they had no need for a canine in all reality. It was just an
Yeah.
idea, you know? So said it, and then they were like, absolutely not. Like, that's not going to happen. And then eventually there was a grant that was thrown at them for it a few years later. And, they selected two of us. I got lucky enough where, you know, I got selected for it. So it
Yeah.
was pretty cool. I had a EOD dog that was donated to us. Her name was Roxy. She was a crazy, non-obedient monster, to say the least. She was from a military program. They didn't need her specific needs, and they didn't want to put the effort into working the obedience because she was crazy.
Mhm.
So, like, they're like, hey, we can donate her to you. So they donated her to the department because they had a connection, and we had some fun. Definitely had some fun with her, and she was crazy. Learned a little bit from her, and then from there, it was just kind of time for me to kind of evolve a little bit, and saw an opportunity on the civilian side to train dogs for just house dogs, just pet wise.
Mhm.
Jumped on it, and I was with that company for about 6.5 years.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, learned a lot. Introduced me to e-collars. I had never used the e-collar before that. So, got introduced to what an e-collar was and how to operate it and the benefits of actual using an e-collar. And it was, honestly, it was a game changer. For the first time I put an e-collar on a house pet that is lazy, doesn't want to do anything, and I was able to get it to, heal in a semi-proper position in like a 30-minute time frame. I was like, are you kidding me? Like I was running around with these like highly sophisticated, super intelligent, high drive dogs.
Yeah, yeah.
And it would take us weeks to get these dogs to heal just on a, flat collar and a regular lead.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this lazy dog that doesn't want to get up for anything. Is not food motivated. Like, and it's like semi healing within like 30 minutes. Like awesome. So, um, you know, made a lot of mistakes in all reality, especially like first learning how to use the e-collar. But you learn from, right? You learn from those mistakes, you evolve. So, became his head trainer for a little while, learned a lot of lessons, learned a lot of patience, learned how to interact with clients at a different level as opposed to what I was used to coming from the law enforcement side. Like still, deal with a lot of people on the law enforcement side, but you're dealing with crazy crises most of the time when it comes to that. So like turning that side off and just focusing on helping people because they want to live better lives with something they're struggling with and that they honestly truly care for. A lot of lessons learned on it, taking a few bites, kind of nature of the beast. I've gotten some pretty good ones over the years. So, not in a while. That's a good thing to say.
Yeah. Well, because I know in my head, I'm just like, I have like a lot of questions right now, right?
Yeah.
First, it's like when it comes to like the e-collars, right? Because I feel like someone from you're more in this like industry, when it comes to like dog training, someone who is coming out, right? I feel like the e-collar is very controversial when you're not very educated on that, just because I feel like, some people may think that like, oh, like it's hurting the dog, like, X, Y, and Z, for whatever reason. So like, what would you say to like, the people out there that's listening, like that, is it like, painful for dogs? Like someone who's not educated with that, like, what would you call it?
So at least in my opinion, right? So, there's a lot of controversy when it comes to e-collars. You have people on the purely positive side that swear it's the devil. And honestly, it's not. It's a great tool in all reality. Can it be abused? Absolutely, it definitely can be abused. Is it abused? Yes, it is abused. But, it's up to us as that balanced training community and the people that use the e-collars to use it properly and educate individuals on how to use it properly. Is there like a majorly right way to use them? It depends on the individual that you talk to, right? Many ways to use it for different things. Some people are going to agree with it. Some people aren't going to agree with it. But I would say just give it a shot, right? Just be open-minded to it. Don't just listen to, this one side that's going to sit here and tell you that it's the worst thing ever. It's, the devil when it comes to working with a dog. And then like, don't just listen to the individuals that are pro for it, right? Listen to both sides, make your own opinion based on, the education that you do for yourself. And if you are going to decide to use one, definitely seek help from a professional to do your research and make sure that the ethics of that individual align with you when it comes to how they train, right? Yes. So, there's more to it than just, hey, your dog's not listening. Let me slap this device on your dog and I'm going to force it to listen. Right?
Yeah.
You can't do it that way. It's not right to the dog whatsoever. It's something new. They're going to be confused about it to start off with. But when it is used correctly, it is a wonderful tool that it's probably saving thousands of dogs' lives a year. There's a lot of dogs that, would be euthanized, unfortunately, if it wasn't for technology and people using these tools in the correct manner. No different than using a flat collar or pinch collar or, a slip lead or anything along them. They're all tools. Right?
Yeah.
It's all tools that we use to help create a result that we're looking for. And, hopefully at the end, it's going to improve the dog's life. Do you need an e-collar to train? No. Can it be beneficial? Absolutely.
Yeah. 100%. No, that's very good to know, just because I know like years ago, right? For me, I was just more towards like, no, I don't use it, I don't wear my dog, but it was just because I was just wasn't really educated, that's it. I wasn't really educated. I didn't really do my research, but now after talking to more people, talking more dog trainers and being more involved in the industry, like I'm starting to see, like benefits and like the way people train, and there is a lot of benefits when it comes to like e-collars and just any method when it comes to dog training. That's one of the things that I'm seeing, and it's one of the cool things too, just because I know you mentioned something where it saves like thousands of dogs' lives, and I think that's just like awesome. That's one of the reasons why I started Canine Conversions, just so I can help dog trainers, get clients so we can save as many dogs as possible. Because yeah, you are absolutely right. Like, there are a ton of dogs that get euthanized because of behavioral issues,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But at the end of the day, everybody got to put that work in no matter what, though. So it's not just, hey, the trainer gets the dog, works with you and the dog does great with the trainer. You think it's going to translate over, because it's not, right? The only way it's going to translate is if you make those changes within your household and set the standards that you want the dog to live by, right? So a lot of people, everyone's like, oh, it's my fur baby. Like, yeah, absolutely. Most of us that own dogs, you actually love your dog. Yeah, we treat them like they're our children. That's the nature of the beast. Like, we're all guilty of it, but still got to set rules.
Yeah.
And without those rules and without setting that structure, it's not going to work out for anybody. And then what happens? Can't handle the dog, so they, take the dog to, some kind of shelter, and shelters are so overrun. What happens? Yeah, the dog will be there for a little bit, but it's not always the case that someone else is going to come adopt it. And even if someone does adopt it, now you're taking the issues you were struggling with. All you did was just fasten to someone else that doesn't know what that dog's dealing with, and then it's just a repeating cycle. So that's why, like, there's a lot of failure rates when dogs get adopted from the shelter. A lot of them get returned again. So yeah, it sucks. It's sad. And in all reality, we don't deserve dogs. They're literally the most loyal, things in this world. You can yell at a dog, and it could be like, oh my God, I just got yelled at. And 2 seconds later, it's like, come on, Dad, like, come on, Mom, let's hang out. And they just jump in your lap, or, they bring a ball to you, or they bring their favorite toy, or they just look at you with those little eyes, or whatever the case may be, and they just make you laugh. Right. And at the end of the day, that's why a lot of us have dogs nowadays, is for that extra comfort, for that something that can make us feel a certain way. Right. A lot of us that own dogs don't use dogs what they were intended for initially. Most of us don't work our dogs. We don't use them on the farms that they are originally supposed to be. But yeah, it's all a good time though.
No, no, definitely 100%. And yeah, no, I'm definitely guilty of like, treating my dog as like my son.
Hey,
I don't have any kids, right? I don't have any kids, but I always tell my dog that he's my son. While over here, my younger brother already had his like second kid. Now the brother just chilling with my dog. I'm like, so where'd you get a second dog? I think
hey, no, ain't no better companion, man.
I'm saying, like, so I told my wife, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, his name is Thor. I'm like, Thor needs he needs a little brother, like, especially when we're gone for the day, like, he needs a brother.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But before you do that, make sure his behaviors are good to go. So then that way it's not translating to 2 bad dogs. 1 bad dog's enough.
Yeah, no, he's pretty good. He is pretty good. One of the things that I do like about him though is just like, no matter what time of the day I come home, or I'm like, I mean, I have my office at home, right? So it's most like mostly if I'm like hanging out with friends or going to the gym, just coming back. But man, every single time without fail, he gets up and he just comes running and just gets all happy.
Oh yeah,
And I think
absolutely.
best things ever.
Yeah. No, they definitely do. They bring a lot of excitement. They're always happy to see you. Yeah. No, it don't matter if you're gone 2 minutes or 5 days. It doesn't matter. Once they see you, they're like super excited.
Yeah, yeah.
I laugh at my wife all the time because I'm like, babe, how come you don't get excited when I come home like that? Where's that excitement for me? So it's hilarious. Like we laugh about it a lot, but we also have a lot. I'm a little crazy. I do a lot of rescue stuff, and I have
That's
I have way too many dogs. It's not normal.
how many?
Kind of embarrassed to say.
I bet,
So I don't like.
I bet you I could beat you. I bet you I could beat you. Not right now, but at one point in my life. So how many?
So right now we got 13.
13.
Yeah, we got 13 of them. So do a bunch of rescue stuff, and I tend to keep ones that need a specific type of living situation in order for them to thrive. And, my wife's a little bit of a sucker. So, she always convinces me that it's a good idea to add another one because, what's going to happen? What's going to happen if we don't keep them? So, yeah. So it's always a good time. But yeah, so we got a bunch, they're all inside dogs. So all live in the house. They hang out with us in the living room. They, hang out in the bedroom. So they have access to where they want to go as long as we're there. They're allowed.
That's
Got a
awesome.
couple old ones though. I got a couple 13-year-olds to say the least.
Yeah, those,
It's always
yeah,
tough watching them age the way they age. Wouldn't have it any other way. So no free time, outside of working with clients and then, taking care of my own pups. There's not too much time. So no vacation.
hey, man, first, I do admire for what you're doing just because, I mean, if I had the space, I would be doing the exact same thing, And two, I think that, you're rescuing them, helping them out and just kind of chilling with you. Like, I think that's the coolest thing. I know it's never easy to lose one. I mean, I just lost a dog just because she was already 13, so we had to put her down. I want to say this was my second dog. This was my second dog that I've ever had. The first one, my childhood dog, we put him down last year. He's already, he's already old too. And then this one, her name is Cookie. I believe it was like last month or earlier this month that my family had to put her down. Uh, but it's always, it's always sad. But the way I think about it is just like, yeah, sure, like it is pain. It's a short amount of heartbreak for us, but for them, they were just like the happiest.
Yeah.
And you know that they lived a great life, and you know that they were happy and well taken care of. And to me, like I would do that on repeat every day if I know, like they were happy.
Yeah. Like it's crazy too, like how things happen. So like, just like you, we recently just lost the youngest of my original five. So like the first five dogs that me and my wife got together, we just lost our youngest of the original five.
Hmm.
With her her was a little crazy. She I've actually found her. She was found tied to a tree in the woods when she was a puppy. So like she was like 3 months old. Yeah, someone dumped her and they tied her to a tree. Because there was probably some kind of breeding, some backyard breeder. They were going to make money on her. She had some health issues going on, so of course, found her and took her to the vet. She was given like a month timeline before she would pass away because she had a heart condition that required pretty invasive heart surgery. So, being the great people that we are, we were like, well, what's her chances of living with this heart surgery? Surgery, it'll give her like 3 to 5 years, give or take. So can't give her a month if I give her 3 to 5. So,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
ended up taking her. We got a referral. We had to take her down to NC State University School of Vet, and they performed this heart surgery. So, heart surgery went super, super well with her. Of course, with the surgery, they were like, because of her condition, it's never not going to be there. You got to be cautious with her activity levels and all this good stuff because the possibility of her having a heart attack at any point is pretty high. So, so we did it. Cost us a little bit of a penny back then. Took care of it. She ended up giving us years. So we got 9 years. She was completely healthy. One day came home, let her out from in the middle of the day. She was happy go lucky, her typical self. I went back to work. My wife called me a few hours later. Was like, hey, Sterling's not. She seems like something's wrong with her. Like she's not acting like her normal self. So
Mhm.
with her, just because of her heart condition, anytime like we're having a little bit of an issue, it's all right, let's just take her to the vet. So we run out to the emergency vet. They, did bill x-rays and ultrasounds and all that good stuff. Basically like, hey, like her heart's enlarged, which we knew already. So
Mhm.
like, but, vitals seem pretty normal. We're comfortable with you taking her back home and, just go see your vet first thing in the morning. So we're like, all right, cool. So made an appointment. She made it. That was probably around like 8 p.m. And then she made it till about 4 a.m. Before she ended up having a heart attack at the house. So it was tough.
Dang.
Definitely hard. But then, things kind of happen for a reason. So a few weeks go by and a local rescue we helped with, they ended up having a male dog, a little pitty, looked just like the one we just lost, but a male. Same exact heart condition, and they need to get surgery. So what happened? We go get the other one. So the one we lost, her name was Sterling. The one we just got, his name, we ended up naming him Silver. So we actually, yeah. So we just literally, we took him down to empty state to go have the same procedure done. We ended up finding some other things wrong with him first. That took a little bit of precedence first. So we did a surgery. We're about a month and a half removed from that surgery. He's recovering pretty well. He has his good days and bad days, but he's doing all right. And then hopefully in April, we should be able to go have his procedure done. So who knows? Things kind of happen for a reason. It was tough, and the wife struggles with it, but finding that little guy, kind of helped ease the loss of that one.
Yeah.
You're never going to be prepared when it comes to losing a pet. It sucks, and it's going to hurt for a while, and you probably don't realize you care about them as you do until that day actually comes. What can you do? Got to keep pushing forward.
I know. And that's, yeah, I mean, that's incredible that what you're doing. I'm jealous because I always tell my wife, like, yeah, I want to have like as many dogs as possible. And she's like, no, we're going to have two. All right, we'll have 30. It's like,
it's a good number though. 13 is the normal number. Don't do that. Two to three. Okay.
Okay. So I can beat that number, but it's not as heroic as yours. Okay.
So it's not about being heroic.
I mean, yours are all rescues. So yes, it is. For me, it's just like we had at that time 4 dogs. I think it was 4 dogs. 4 or 5, I don't know, 4 or 5. But we've also been like, we growing up, we were never really, really like, we liked dogs, but we never really had dogs just because we always kind of like just, lived in a small place. We didn't have room for like a dog until we got a house. And it wasn't until, I remember it was 4th of July. We had gone to the beach. It was like, Santa Monica Beach. We went to an LA Galaxy game to watch a game and watch the fireworks. And when we came back, our house got robbed into. So it was like they broke into it and they stole like a bunch of stuff. And it was then that my dad was like, all right, it's time for us to get a dog. So that's when we got a dog, and it was like half German Shepherd, half like Golden Retriever. And his name was Toby. And he was the dog that has been us with like the longest. And then the second dog that we had, and he was like good into us. Like they told us like, hey, there's this dog that, we're like, we don't know what to do with him. Like, and my dad was like, we'll get him. And then my dad was like, all right, I'm just getting like 1 dog. And my mom, she was never really wanting, dogs just because she was traumatized as a child where she got bit pretty bad, like right here by a dog. And ever since that happened, and it happened when she was like a little girl too. She just never really wanted dogs just because she was always like, afraid of them and traumatized. But then she fell in love with like, for this dog. We got him, who was small. And then the second dog that we got, it was a Shih Tzu. That one, my dad kind of rescued, which I was surprised that my dad kind of like rescued too, because he was like, no more dogs. I'm just good with just one. But the people that were trying to like get rid of her, they're like, yeah, we don't want her anymore. Like we're just thinking of just putting her in the animal shelter and have them take care of it. And my dad was like, what do you mean? That's your responsibility. Like you got her. And long story short, my dad just ended up keeping the dog, and it's been us with the longest. But we had one dog that was going to get neutered, and I don't know if he heard the conversation that he was going to get neutered or something. Like the night before, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, he got neutered, and then both dogs that we had, her name was Cookie, and then we had another one was like Lily. They both were pregnant with puppies. And it was two, they were like Shih Tzus, and the male dog was a pug. So it was, yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, they had puppies a week apart. And for like 3-4 months, we had like, I want to say like, I think it was like 16 dogs at the house.
Yeah. So, no, too much. Puppies are tough, man. Puppies like that, especially when they're old. Goodness.
Yeah. And I remember because it was funny because my parents, they built like this little like part of the house, like in the back. It was still like inside, but it was just for the puppies. And my mom had to clean like that like 4 times because it was just pee and poo and anywhere. But I remember coming home from like a long day of like work at a restaurant because I used to work at a restaurant as a waiter. Like I would just open the gate and I'll just lay down and just
Yeah,
all these little puppies just like attack me. So it was pretty cool, but it was a lot. It was definitely.
yeah. Take care of puppies a lot, like especially like puppies like that. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's fun. It's a lot of cleaning.
Yeah.
A whole lot of cleaning, a whole lot of whining.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And Josh, you did mention that, during the process that you were, transitioning to working with like house dogs that you got like bit a few times. What would you say is like the craziest like story of like you getting bit?
So, dog's name is Sammy. He was Sammy at the time. He was a 3-year-old German Shepherd. Crazy dog. The owner of the dog actually owned some local car washes and got a call one day, about this dog who has some aggression issues. He's having a lot of problems. He keeps him at one of the car washes with him. Like he brings him to work with him. There's only like 1 or 2 people that can actually handle him. Outside of that, he tries to like eat everybody, right? So a lot of the times when you're dealing with clients and they say their dogs are aggressive, they're not really as bad as they kind of make it out to be. All right. So big difference between reactivity and aggression. So he was like, do you work with aggressive dogs? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic. Can we get together? So I was like, yeah, sure. He was like, this is my place. So we schedule it up. So we schedule it. I go over there, meet the dog. Dog's in a gigantic metal crate. He has him in his office. He can handle him, and like his manager is able to handle him. Outside of that, nobody else can like get close to him, can touch him, whatever. So like dog's going absolutely crazy in the kennel. He have him leash him up. He can't put a muzzle on him. We bring him out, going crazy. So I'm like, all right, cool. This is what we're gonna have to do. Blah 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 blah. So we go through that process. He was like, great, sign me up. How soon can we get started? Gave him a start date. Was like, this will be your start date, and this is what we're gonna do. Long story longer, right? So a couple days go by. He called me up. He was like, hey, I got a check for you. When would you be able to come pick it up? So I was like, actually, I'm going to be driving up to DC today. I was like, I'll stop by your place on my way up to DC because I got a dog I got to go pick up out of DC. So, because I'm like an hour, 15 minutes from where he lives. It's a gloomy day. It's pouring down rain. Car wash is closed down. I get over there. I give him a call, talk to him. He comes out. We're talking, set everything up, hands me the check, and he goes, "Do you want to see him again? Do you want to see him again?" So I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. Let's see him this way. I can kind of get a little bit hands on with him. That way, a little introduction." Oh, we go to his back office door, and it's a solid steel door, right? It's a solid steel door going into the building. So me and him are talking. He unlocks the door. He's like, he's in the office. He's in the crate. I'm like, cool. So he unlocks the door. He opens the door, and lo and behold, who's standing at the door? Mr. Sammy. Dog is just sitting there at the door. He opens the door. Dad's face like gets gigantic, like that. Oh my God, like moment, right? So his dad looks at me. I look at his dad. The dog looks at me, and I was like, "Game on, here we go!" And he shot out of the cannon, and it was fun to say the least. So he shoots out at me. I throw my arm in front, of course, so he catches me, kind of through the arm, just kind of habit using bite sleeves and things like that, through the arm and the leg, because rather you bite me in the arm than bite me in the neck or the face or anywhere else. He grabs a hold of me. I backpedal out of the building because we're like in the doorway. So I back out, and it's completely pouring outside. It's complete soaked asphalt. I'm trying not to lose my footing because we're slipping, and he ends up like releasing the grip. So I was like, cool, push them off. Dad's like, oh my God, he's panicking. He goes to grab him. The dog like gives him a little like Barry Sanders juke, comes at me, lunges again. I like Olay him. So I Olay to the side. He goes right past, turned right back around. He came back, bit me in the stomach. So he grabs me in the stomach, and he's like tugging, and he starts to shake a little bit. So like I'm sitting there trying to like get him off of me because I'm trying not to like punch this dog in all reality
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm not trying to get no like bad review at the time. So it's saying I don't want to like physically like punch your dog. So like I go to like I grab his like I'm trying to like grab his collar and I grabbed him like right behind the ear enough and I guess I put enough pressure he released it. So he lets go, shreds. I had like a t-shirt on. He like shredded my t-shirt. He ends up like backing up against the building and his dad dives on him to tackle him. So he dives on him and he's like bear hugging him. His dad's on his knees. He's bear hugging him. Dog's like wiggling, going crazy. And he slips back out and he comes right back and he bites me in the inner thigh. Whoa. So I'm standing there like, all right, bro, I get that's it. We're not playing this game no more, right? I'm like, this game is not fun. So, like I'm sitting there like punching him, not like punching him, but I'm like hitting him on the side of the head to say the least. And I'm not trying to hurt him, but this
yeah.
hurts. This ain't comfortable. Dad's like trying to pull him, and I'm telling Dad like, no, don't pull him. Grab his collar and choke him. Like you got to choke him because if you pull him, he's gonna rip me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so trying to keep Dad calm, trying to stop this dog from eating me, was not fun. Dad can't get his grip. He slips again. Dog releases. He comes back at me, and I was able to grab my t-shirt and use my t-shirt as a tug. So he ended up coming after me, and I threw the t-shirt in his face, and he ended up bugging that. So that I'm just sitting there playing tug with this dog. He ended up ripping. I had a pair of cargo shorts on, so he rips like the entire left side of my pant leg, like literally like just like ripped it down. So like I'm in my drawers, like pants are on the ground, my t-shirt's ripped open. You know, I'm a fat boy. You know, beer belly hanging out. You know, leg is all exposed. I'm bleeding everywhere, and I'm running. I'm like in this parking lot, basically naked, trying to get playing tug of war with this dog until finally he was able to like get a good enough grip. The whole ordeal was probably a minute and a half, 2 minutes, but it felt like it was 30.
Okay.
So finally get this dog off me. He throws him back in. Now I'm going nuts. Now I'm sitting off to the side cursing him out because I'm pissed. Like I'm like, you mother effer! Like, are you effing kidding me? You know, like please, 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 please. Oh, it was rough. I got holes. I mean, I got punctures everywhere. You know, stomachs open. Thank God, like nothing but like no flesh was ripped. I just had a bunch of punctures. So
Yeah.
nothing too crazy besides the fact that I still had a dog to go pick up in DC. So this guy, like, he's panicking. He asking me if I'm okay. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm good. I'm going to leave right now because I'm a little pissed off and I'm going to say a lot of things. So I'm a real, you know, I jump in the car and I drive to DC. So I literally drive, I got a picture. I got agent clothes. Like, thank God I had clothes in the car. So I'm driving to DC. My leg is ripped open. I'm sitting there like using a t-shirt to like compress my leg because I got a hole in it. It was stupid. I probably should have went to the doctors for it, but I didn't. So then as I'm driving, he's calling me every like 30 seconds. It felt like asking me if I'm okay. If I'm not answering, he's texting me. Just like, oh my God, is everything okay? Like, I'm like, no, it's not okay, but I'm good. You know?
Sick.
So,
Yeah, that is wild.
bro, so yeah, so it was a little crazy. He was worried about getting sued because it happened on his business property.
Mm.
So he was worried about it. And he was like, are you still going to work with them? And I was like, yeah, I'm still going to work with them, but we're going to have to talk about this for a minute first. Like that original price that I quoted you, it just went way up. Like it just went way up, buddy. So Sammy, I ended up booking him for like 2 months. So I ended up doing like a 2 month board and train with the dog.
Wow. Uh-huh.
You know, and he was like, I was like, look, you know, we went from doing, I think originally I signed him up for like a month. It was like I think I did like a 30-day board and train. So I was like, look, we're going to do a 60-day board and train. And basically your price just tripled. What to say
Yeah.
the least.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. Like your price just tripled. So I ended up getting him. He turned out to be freaking fantastic. You know, it took us a couple days. Like it
That,
took a couple days for him to get like comfortable with me. But I worked him through it. It's my best friend. It's been like 3 years at this point. I probably watch him every like 2 months. I keep him for like 10, 15 days at a time, give or take. Cause yeah, his wife's from the Dominican Republic. So like
Mhm.
they travel back and forth from here to the DR to go visit like her parents are older. So
Yeah.
She goes back home, go like be with her mom and dad and stuff like that. So I watch them every time they leave. But yeah, it was crazy. So that one was a little bit nuts. I ended up keeping him a lot longer than those 2 months, to say the least, though. So he was on a trip. That's why he was going. Extended the trip. Then he came back. He had some construction going on his house while he was gone that was supposed to be completed. It wasn't. So he was like, I'm not comfortable with him being around the construction crews. Like, would you mind keeping him a little longer? So
Yeah.
2 months turned into like 300 days total for that year that
Whoa.
I ended up keeping him. So like he was with me for a while. He went home for a couple weeks, and then he had more construction needed to be done. So I ended up having him for almost a year in total. So it was crazy because he just kept writing the check. Like he just kept stroking them checks. And then it came down to the following year. The first time he called me he asked me to watch him again. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I go pick him up, and he was like, I didn't realize how much money I paid you last year for Sammy. And I was like, yeah. I was like, you covered my taxes for the year. I think when it was all said and done from that year, I think I probably made like 40 to 45,000 off of them was what it ended up costing me.
Just one dog.
And yeah, for the whole, like, all like how long I ended up keeping them. And then there were some things that took place while I had him. Like he ghosted me a few times, and where I was like, all right, I was just supposed to board him. So like I have a boarding fee for just like watching dogs that I train. And he like ghosted me in the middle of that, and I didn't hear from him for like a month. And like he was referred from a really good friend, so it's the only reason why I didn't take this dog to the shelter. So
Yeah.
I was like, well, your boarding fee just turned into a training fee because me keeping him ended up me not being able to take, me having to push out X amount of clients. So you're going to cover that cost. So
Yeah.
it was wild, but it was around 40 to 45K was what I made off of him. And like for that year, it was insane. Like it was absolutely insane, but it was
Dang.
crazy. But now he's my best friend. I love that dog. I love that dog to death. That dog loves me. He actually lives on the beach. He takes him out every day, rain or shine, doesn't matter. He's out there. He doesn't like he's not that dog you can just go up and pet, but his obedience is so well now.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind anybody. Like as long as you don't try to touch him, he don't care. So like, he'll be walking with them. If he gets to like, because he does some awfully stuff with them, told him
Yeah.
not to do it just because like, you just never know. We don't want him biting somebody, but unfortunately you can't dictate and control what owners are going to do.
Yeah.
Where he's at, like all the neighbors know because it's a small little beach area, it's a beach community. So yeah, he goes out there, he lets him play on the beach, he calls him back, he tells him, whatever he tells him to do, the dog does it. So he can stop, have conversations, and he's fine. He don't care. As long as you don't try to touch him, he's good.
Yeah.
But he's that type of dog that like once he trusts you, he loves you.
Yeah.
It's just building that trust with him. And it's crazy too, because when he got him originally, like he saw him walking in the shelter, and they were like, yeah, that dog's not adoptable. So he was like, can I sign like a waiver? Like, that's the dog I want. And they were like, well, if you sign this waiver, you can see him, but he's not very nice. And he was like, I went in the room, I sat down, he came in, he sat in my lap. I was like, awesome, good for you. Crazy dog. But yeah, I'm all scarred up. I got a bunch of scars from him. Like it's fun.
Dang, that is
And I
crazy.
still drove to DC like a dummy. So still made the drive.
Luckily, you had clothes, but I just imagine you going like the nearest store.
It was bad. Like I was like, the things we do for the hustle, right? The things we do. But I just started my personal business. I needed the money, so I did what had to be done. It was probably stupid, but I did what I had to do. He made me laugh. Like he kept like literally when I tell you he kept calling. It was the longest drive and drive back, so it's like a 4 hour drive from where I'm at to DC, and it was like every 30 seconds I felt like he was calling and texting. And he kept asking if I was okay. And I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I told you I'm good. Stop asking me. Stop asking me. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be good when I get home at 1 o'clock in the morning and I take a shower. I was like, because you're going to hear me screaming. So like when you're sleeping in the middle of the night and you feel like someone put a spell on you, that's me.
He just wanted to make sure that you didn't pass out or something while you're driving, bro.
He was just worried about getting sued, bro.
That
He was legitimately worried about getting sued.
is crazy. Did you think about it? Did I ever cross your mind or not?
What's up?
Did I ever cross your mind or not?
No.
No.
Like what? About suing him?
Yeah.
No. I deal with a lot of behavioral issues.
Yeah.
So it sucks, right? I mean, we take as much precautions as you can possibly take.
Yeah.
Was I mad that it happened? Absolutely, because it shouldn't happen. Especially when you have that type of dog, right? So like
Yeah.
we knew we were dealing with an aggressive dog that was actively bite somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was more upset about the fact that he wasn't in the crate and he didn't know he wasn't in the crate.
Uh,
So he set it up for failure, in my opinion. So now you created a bad experience for me, a bad experience for the dog because it's a lot of stress, and he's just a scared dog. So we added more stress to that dog, and because of that stress, we bit. So what happens is the way they feel like the way like the dogs will handle situations are, I'm going to bite you as like a last resort. But if I bite you and it turns into a certain like behavior, so to say, because now like he created something.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot that goes into it. So, you always got to take your precautions and you do as best as possible. And typically I don't get bit. I mean, I deal with a lot of reactivity dogs, a lot of behavioral problems when it comes to dogs want to bite. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty good at not getting bit. So, but it does happen. Every once in a while, you're gonna take one, right? So, it's
Yeah.
about mitigating it as much as possible, and not freaking out over the situation, and just handling it the best of your ability at that point in time, right? Not everybody's gonna handle it the right
Yeah.
way. You know, Pain's gonna make people do certain things. I mean, there's people that'll probably tell you I'm crazy for not like punching that dog.
Mm.
But I was a new business owner. I wasn't, I was not trying to like have people like, oh, I watched this dude. Like, next thing you know, I'm on YouTube and TikTok beating a dog. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're not gonna get the full story. You're just gonna see this big Spanish guy, wailing on a dog. Well, not a good look. Not a good look. But I was lucky enough, no serious damage. Outside of some tissue.
Yeah.
Uh, nothing major. Probably got lucky. Their teeth go a lot deeper than you think they do. So
Yeah.
got some pretty cool scars from it. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. It sucks.
They're whiskers and stories, man. That's all it is,
It sucked, and the bites themselves, like you don't really feel them in the moment, just based on adrenaline. You don't really
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
it. Healing process sucks though.
Mhm.
Healing sucks. Dog bites are not fun to heal from. They're no joke. So, and I didn't go to the freaking hospital, which I should have done, but
Yeah, that's the crazy part that you didn't get that checked out.
I had stuff at home. I got some stuff at home, right? I got some peroxide and alcohol, and you know
Mhm.
little self wound care stuff. So it is what it is.
Well,
So
I'm glad that it was a series. Well, that's good. Do you think that your experience as like being a dog trainer would have been different if it would have happened earlier in your career?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely would have. Like, I honestly probably wouldn't have even entertained it to start off with, just because I didn't have that skill set, at the time. That just can't come in fresh trained dogs and be able to take the major behavioral problems like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes a lot, and even like I honestly like 10 years sounds like it's a long time, but it's not. Like, it's honestly not in this realm.
Mhm.
And I'm nowhere close to knowing as much as I need to know in terms of, working with dogs and training itself. Like, there's so much information out there, and there's so many different techniques that you can learn from, and you're constantly going to be evolving, right? You
Yeah.
got to evolve, and yeah, like you're never gonna know everything, and if they tell you they do, they're lying to you. And run, run as fast as possible. But a lot of it, like you can read all day, right? You can read a book all day, but you're not going to actually learn it until you're hands on and you're
Yeah.
dealing. Right? You can train dogs for years and never come across an aggressive dog in all reality, or a
Yeah.
reactivity case, like, or you just may not want to take them. There's plenty of people that won't take behavioral cases, which is there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it makes sense. And if, let's say, for example, like, you're someone who wants to take that behavioral cases, like, what would you say?
Just make sure if you're dealing with behavioral problems like that, I would make sure you have like certain protocols that you have to keep you safe,
Mhm.
right? Don't take it just because it's an ego thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So like ego comes into play a lot when it comes to working certain dogs, right? And if you're doing it because you don't want to hurt your ego, you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
Then it's not because you may not theoretically understand how, like, what to do with it, but your ego is going to cause you to do things that you normally probably wouldn't do and risk something. So like if you're dealing with aggressive dogs like that, like, just make sure you're handling it the proper way. Get yourself some tools where you can use, like, there's little fake arms that you can use, so like you can reach that in and see how that dog's going to react to, is it fear based where dog feels like it's back in the corner, that's the only way it's going to come after you, or is it, touch sensitive? So like you can use like fake arms, or like you can use, like, I've seen people use like whip ball bats, right? Just to kind of like reach in and try to like touch the dog, like, and let the dog know, like leash the dog up properly. If you're working with the owners, they take the precautions, like muzzle the dog. You
Yeah.
like have them muzzle the dog, and if they're like, well, I can't muzzle the dog, like it won't let me put a muzzle on. Well, awesome. We're not going to start training until you're able to muzzle the dog, because
Yeah.
we got to handle the dog, right? So let me create a muzzle conditioning video for you, where I can show you this is some steps you're going to take to get the dog comfortable with the muzzle,
Mhm.
right? And this is what this is going to be. We're starting training now, but this is how we're going to do it, right? So we're going to watch this video, and this is what you're going to do step by step until you're able to get that muzzle on the dog, and the dog not be stressed out from wearing the muzzle. And
Yeah.
then once we're able to do that, then we'll do our hands-on things.
Yeah.
So there's different ways. Everyone's going to handle it differently. It just depends on you as the trainer and what you're comfortable with doing. But I would say don't let your ego cause you to take on something you shouldn't. And we're all going to learn. Sometimes we all got to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. I was lucky enough, like the bites I've taken, they've been pretty good, but they haven't been like serious.
Yeah.
Where, there's been, I think there was a kid, I forgot who it was, someone I follow on like Facebook and Instagram. She was watching a friend's dog that had some behavioral problems. Dog actually super friendly with her, did some like personal protection work with her, does sport work with the dog. And lady was out of town. She was watching it. Dog was fine. And all of a sudden, turn went after her. She ended up losing her arm from the wounds. Crazy things can happen. Again, it's rare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dogs are predators at
Mhm.
the end of the day. Their teeth hurt, and they can do a lot of damage. Whether it's, people dying from dog bites. I mean, think of how often you probably see it in the news, every couple months that someone was, mauled to death
Yeah.
from a
Yeah.
dog. So, definitely got to be cautious, take those precautions. Don't go fast. Speed is not your friend when it comes to working with these pups.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. So in general, just like if you're new, just stay away from those. Because I know I talked to some
I
dog
mean,
trainers.
you don't have to stay away from them, but like find someone that trains with you know behavioral cases a lot, and ask if you can shadow them. That way, you're not alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you have someone that has the skill set, that to see if they're willing to work with you to help build your skill set up. Even if like you got to like volunteer your time, so what, do it. If you're really interested in doing it, you gotta learn, but do it hands on. Just do it in a smart way.
Yeah.
And then of course, like if you're really dealing with real bad cases like that, like go buy bikes. And
Gotcha.
it sucks. Like it's an expense that you're probably not really going to use very often. But if you're going to be taking those cases where you're dealing with dogs that are willing to bite and they're proven to bite, like get yourself a bite suit and approach the dog with a bite suit on. So then that way, if an accident does happen, it ain't your flesh it's eating. You have that
Yeah.
level of where, cool, you can bite me.
Yeah.
It's get you where, you know,
Yeah.
but everyone does things differently. Everyone definitely does things differently.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. And when did you start, your like being on your own? Just, I know you said that, you were working under someone. What made you decide
So
to take that leap?
I started in December of 2020 when
Mm.
I created Coastal Canine.
Nice, nice.
Yep.
What would you
You
say
know,
the hardest thing about that transition?
trying to run a business, not knowing how to,
Mm.
like not knowing what I was doing whatsoever. Or like, how am I going to get leads?
Yeah.
Like Like how does that happen? Like, I have no, like, I don't know what it takes to run a business. I've always been just the one that, cool, answer the phone, talk to owners about their dog, but I never had to find anything. Like there's so much more to it than just, cool, I'm going to train dogs.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
so yeah, like it was crazy. But like to start off with, it was like just trying to figure out, hey, where am I going to find these dogs from? So for me, I relied a lot on like word of mouth and just going around like people that I had already trained and having them refer people, and then searching online and coming across some crazy like advertisement site where, they get leads that come into them and then you pay them to access that specific lead. Like, it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Uh, yeah. And then one day I saw this ad on Facebook about an advertisement company, and they
hmm
were giving away, a free month. So I was like, all right, why not?
yeah,
Let's get on a call, right? And that was a game changer. Definitely was a game changer, and it brought me up to this point now. So
yeah,
I'm constantly evolving. Don't things are going to work out, things should be going good, and then things may not be going as good as you want them to do. You got to change some things. So
hmm
yeah, it's crazy. But the advertisement, trying to get your name out there, it's crazy.
No, it is, and that's it for me. It's crazy, right, bro? I went to school to study for to study to be like a doctor, right? And then for me, what happened was that I didn't pass two science classes, and then I got kicked out of the college. So I was left with either anthropology or history. I'm just like, well, I hate history. So it's like, so the classes that I took was so boring, and I'm already like 3.5 years in. I need like, it, I'm the type of person that takes me a little longer than normal, right? So for me, it's gonna be like, I think like 5.5 years to graduate, and then like I've always been that type of person, like with friends, when they come to school, they will study like an hour before midterm and I'll study for weeks and they'll still get better grades than me.
Right there with you.
Yeah, that's always been me. But it's crazy just because, I have this anthropology degree and during college, in back in my mind, I was like, you know what, it'd be cool to study like business. It'll be good to study marketing. But it was just something like it was a thought that was just in back of my mind. Never in a million years that I thought that I was gonna be like have my own business and have my own advertising agency. And yeah, it wasn't until I got introduced to the internet marketing game, affiliate marketing, that's where I started learning about Facebook ads, and that's where everything changed. And yeah, it's been quite a ride, just learning how to advertise on Facebook, especially just because I've always wanted to do something different and something where I could just pick up my laptop. And that's the reason why I was able to boom to Miami, buy myself a one-way ticket, just because literally all I needed was just a laptop and a Wi-Fi. And I've been able to meet a lot of great people and have a lot of great conversations and, just learn a lot about just different businesses. And this is why, like, I love having conversation with dog trainer just because I love hearing the stories. I love hearing how like they started and their journey. Like I've learned, Josh. I feel like you and I have had a lot of conversations, but I feel like I've learned a lot about you. And that bite story is
Crazy. So it was crazy. Honestly, it's probably the first time I really told it. In all reality, I've never really like shit.
really
I've never. Yeah, I've been bit a few times. I got a pretty good one. You want to see like people like, oh, can I see the scar? Like, yeah. I'm like, they're like, you sure that's a dog bite? Because it looks like I got shot. In all reality, like in my stomach, it looks bullet. And I'm like, no, it's a dog bite. It's a dog bite. So, but it's just that's one of a few that I've taken some pretty good bites over the years.
Mm.
Yeah, it's it's fun. We have a good time. Like you never know what the day is going to bring you when it comes to these crazies.
Yeah.
Hell, you never know. Every day is a new day.
hmm that's funny. That's awesome. Awesome. Well, Josh, it's been a pleasure. Josh, thank you so much. You honestly a huge inspiration to not only me, but a lot of people in the community, here at Canine Conversions. And it's been an honor having you as my first guest here in this new podcast. I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna, you're gonna be on these podcasts
Oh
again.
yeah, we definitely got to run it back, man.
Yeah.
We got to run it back and actually chop it up about the business side, like like get into like the business aspect and we're doing big things, and a lot of it has to do with you in our reality and what you've brought to the table for me. It's been a little bit of a game changer on it. Like I was doing pretty good. Like I was, doing a little over six figures before you and I met. So like nothing terrible, but nowhere close to the goals that, we all strive for in terms of that like financial freedom aspects. And the limited time we've been working together has been a big difference. Like I think we've doubled, like in 6 months, we doubled what I was doing. Like insane. And that's while figuring it out on both of our sides.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, imagine we got it. Gosh, I'm so looking forward to this year. It's
I mean, you're in a place right now of like just growing your team, right? Like you're getting some more setters, some more closers.
Yep,
Well, it's
yes. We're trying to open up a facility. So we've been in contact with a couple different locations here. So hopefully we'll have that up within the next few months, where we'll actually have a physical location where, going to streamline things a little bit easier, make us more centralized. That way, hey, this is where we just business wise, it's the smartest way to go about it for me
yeah,
to streamline some things. But yeah, we're trying to grow. We're definitely trying to grow. Like I'm a one man band right outside of my, my amazing closer and my amazing assistant. I'd be lost without those two. In all reality, they've made my life so
yeah,
much there in terms of like the admin side of things. And then, you know, trying to train dogs, having to stop because I got to pick up the phone and miss a call, which is a potential lead. And,
yeah,
about that, I have the people that are being put in place right now that are handling that side of it. So, all I do is approve things in terms of all that stuff. We approve, schedule, and let's go. Right. So, we're bringing on some trainers. That's next step, continue to grow, get some trainers hired, and, hopefully be able to pass some things down along to them. If they don't have the knowledge, hopefully be able to give them some knowledge, and then, put them in the right direction to continue to learn
mhm,
and, continue to improve everyone's life with their pet. That's what it's about. I want everybody to be able to go outside, run around with their dog on the beach, let the dog run,
yeah,
chase the birds, just enjoy that off leash freedom. Like, especially where we're located, we're in we're a beach town. So
yeah,
everybody wants to do that, or go have a couple beers at a brewery with some friends and not have to worry about the dog, just the dog's with you.
yeah,
That's the goals, man. I want all these dogs to live life with you,
mhm,
as the owner, and not you have to leave the dog at the
yeah.
house because, you don't trust them. So we got to build that. We got to build those bonds, build those relationships, and just keep it going.
Oh, that's awesome. And then this is, bro, I'm telling you, like, this is wild. Like, I feel like you and I like vibe a lot, even if it's, business related or just any like outside of business. I think it's cool that like, you have that mindset just because for me personally, I genuinely love dogs. I think they're the greatest gifts ever. Like, I honestly think they're little angels sent from like heaven. And every time I see my dog, I'm just like, bro, I love you.
Baby over there.
Hey, there we go. She's like watching you make the podcast. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's my old lady. She's the oldest. She the oldest of the group.
That's awesome. Where the other ones are now?
So they're downstairs. I'm upstairs in my office. So there's too many of them to be bothering because a lot of them are very attention seeking dogs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'd be sitting here and you see nothing but noses and whatnot. So they're hanging out downstairs. They're chilling, watching some NCIS, I think.
That's funny. That's funny. You are the dogs like your dogs? Are they more with you or they're more with your wife? Like, how does that look?
Honestly, they're probably about 50-50. They're probably with us. I mean, there's probably even amount of time just because, my wife's in law enforcement, so she's on shift works. So, she's on 12-hour shifts, but we live an hour from where she works. So, it's her 12 hours is really 15 hours, they're 15-hour days.
Yeah.
That's if there's nothing major that happens. So,
Yeah.
if it's just a normal quiet, she's gonna yell at me because I said the Q word. But yeah, if it's a normal, nothing major happens, she gets off on time.
Mhm.
Yeah, but yeah, no, they're with us. When we're home together, we're home together. But she works her crazy hours on her shift work, and then I'm usually out the door by 6:37 at the latest. And, I'm never home. I mean, think about it. My office is both. Every time we talk, I think I'm sitting in the car.
Uh, all the time that we've been, working together, there's only been twice that I've seen you in your office.
Yeah.
One was yesterday when I came for the first time in your office. I was like, maybe you're not on the road.
Yep. Nope. Nope.
And today,
Heck yeah, man. So yeah, that's one of the things I'm trying to change. Why I'm looking for that facility, so that way I don't have to be on the road like that. So I'll be at the, hopefully be able to have that office, right?
yeah, that's gonna
Hey. Yeah, but they're crazy. They're all hanging out though. They're all downstairs. She's up here with me. She's doing what she's supposed to be doing, just relaxing. Can't ask for anything better than that. I get up, walk out, she'll be right behind me. So she's my little shadow over there.
That's awesome. My dog, his name is Thor. He's a golden retriever.
Uh-huh.
He follows my wife's more.
Oh yeah, they have favorites. Yeah, they me. So we're actually. I'll have to send it to you. My wife wants to shoot one of those videos where we both stand together and then run opposite directions and see what dog goes to who. Right? And she wants to keep tabs on it, and I was like, I don't really think you want to do that. I was like, your feelings gonna get hurt. So like,
I did. I would say, and they do get hurt, bro. They do get hurt.
yeah. I was like, don't ask for something because your feelings gonna get hurt, and you're gonna be mad at me about it, right? So we'll sit there. It's hilarious. We'll be hanging out, like we'll be, sitting down talking, watching TV or watching a movie or something, and we'll start talking about it. And she'll be like, "So who do you think will go to who?" And we'll sit there and be like, "Oh, well, Dina's gonna go to me," and I'm like, "Oh, well, yeah, Silver's gonna go to you or whatever." And then she'd be like, "No, I think this one's gonna go to you, but that one's gonna come to me." Well, yeah, maybe we'll see. Let's do it.
Yeah, no, those are always fun. We tried it once, and Thor went to me, which was surprising. Like crazy, because like my wife, she also works like at home. She has her own office, right? So I have my own office. She has her own office. Mine's a little like dark. Like I have my walls painted black.
Man, look, I cannot take any credit for it. So like I was telling her I want an office. So she was like, okay, awesome. I'm gonna do it. And I was like, no, it's my office. I don't it's mine. Like I don't want you creating it, right? It's for me. She was like, well, what are you gonna do? I was like, a TV, a desk, and a chair? I don't need nothing. Like I don't look, check this out. So that's all I wanted was a TV, a desk, and a chair. So I come home, she orders. So we got the TV. She orders
Nice.
that. Well, not really fancy, but fancy enough. She went and changed the knobs. They're different dog faces.
Oh my God, what is it? Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
epic.
So that's a dog face there. That's a dog face. You got dog butt there. So I got we got portraits of our dogs, right? So that's my
Nice.
Belgian Mal Tiki. That's my working dog. And
Nice.
then so I got some of the business stuff over there for like some ball caps and sweatshirts, like car smelly thingies. She got ornaments for Christmas trees. We got shot glasses over there, right? Then she orders these, LED portraits over here. And then she put up this like shelf thing. And I'm like, what is this? Right? I'm like, I do not want any of this. She got a couch. She got this little like beanbag thing over here. I'm like, you're killing me. But I like the only thing that I wanted is this sexy bad boy right there.
Ooh, there we go.
That's the only thing I've contributed to this office.
That is
It's hilarious. I'm like, you're killing me. Like, I literally was gonna spend like $150 on like a desk, a chair, and maybe like 500 on a TV, right? Because TV got to be important. She orders a. I literally came home from work and I was like, What is this? She's like, oh, it's your office. Do you like it? I was like, do you really want me to answer that honestly? So yeah. So I
that
can't,
is
I, I
cool.
can't, I can't complain. So I was laughing at her the other day. I was like, hey, so I'm looking for a building. I was like, so you're going to be able to design it because I'm not very creative at all and I have no style. Uh, I'm very simplistic. So I was like, you'll be able to design the building. You can decorate it. That's going to be all you.
It's fine.
Yeah. So I'm lucky. I'm lucky enough. My wife is ride or die.
That's awesome.
She will hold the fort down if it needs to be held down. She's really supportive with what we do. I mean, you kind of got to be with what we do because our schedules are not normal,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
say the least. Like, she's on night shift right now, and there's times where I got to leave some dogs in the kennels, and my garage is converted,
Mhm.
and she's trying to sleep in the day. Guess what? They don't want to sleep. They're gonna bark.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's times there's times where she gets a lot of broken up sleep just based on dogs going crazy in the kennels. So she supports 100%. I definitely would not be in the position that I'm in without her, in all reality. Like, the support that she's shown, and like, she questions everything. So anytime I'm like, oh, I get a bright idea, I'm just gonna do it. Just kind of gonna do it. Like the program where you and I met from, she was not very happy.
Mhm.
She
Gosh.
was not very happy about that investment, to say the least.
Mhm.
And I knew she wasn't gonna be happy, to say the least. So I didn't ask. I just did it. It was one of those situations like, I'll just do it and deal with the consequences after the fact. And she was like, "How come you didn't tell me?" I was like, "It was a business expense. It's a tax write off.
I hope you say that. Oh my God. It's a tax write-off. It's a tax write-off.
Hey, everything's a tax write off. Look, we needed some funds to write off this year. Here's this beautiful, very expensive expense."
That is funny.
But it was worth it. And of course, like, for her, it was more of like, what is this internet thing that you found that's trying to scam you of this money? Like you're you're crazy if you believe it's going to be real. And then, you know, that beautiful month you and I had together, uh, for a record-setting month, like right off the bat, kind of like changed her mind. Like, okay, it wasn't a scam, was it? I was like, yeah, no.
No.
I told you it wasn't a scam.
How long did you tell her?
Oh, like a week. Yeah.
So you didn't wait till you got your first like good month and you're like, hey, you see this? It was because I got this.
Bro, I can't hide nothing. For me, I don't check the mail. Like, I don't hide anything. In all reality, like, she grabs the mail. So I think like, the credit card statement came in the mail. She opened it up and was like, "What the?" And you know what it was. Like, you know what it was.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's not, it's not cheap, but
He was like, "Are you effing kidding me? You just spent and you didn't talk to me about it." And I was like, "Well, I knew how you were gonna react." I was
that
like, I had to take action. I had to take action. I got it for X dollars cheaper, bro. Like, straight up. I mean, you know the game, right? You know the game, right? So they got me right for me, because I tried to do it online real quick. Like, I tried to just do everything online and like make a payment online, but I was only gonna do half. Like, I was just gonna put like that 50% down, and you know, get on that Zoom meeting. And next thing you know, they're asking for the CC number. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, here it is." And I even think about saying, "Yeah, I just want to put half down to start off with." It put the full amount, and I was like, "Oh, I'll get too late now." Oh my god, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. I think she had talked to me for like a week, but we was good. We was good to go. Yeah, we was good to go. And the investment was, I do it, like, well, no, I don't. Clip that. You can't show that to them.
Don't worry, I'll cut that.
Yeah, you got to cut that, because you don't. Trey gonna be calling me like 20.
I'm like, bro, this podcast isn't even live. How are you calling him?
Like, every time I see Trey call me, I'm like, "Leave me alone." I literally text him back. I'm like, "Leave me alone." I wait a few days. I give him a call. I make him sweat a little bit.
That's cool. No,
I love them guys, man. In all reality, they do what they do, and they're the best at what they do. But they know what they're doing. And I would have met you. I legitimately would have never ran across you, and would have never been making the moves that we're making. And when I say we, I'm talking about you and I together, because at the end of the day, like, I feel, even though like you're not my business partner, I feel like you are my business partner.
Mhm.
Based on the relationship that we actually have right now, and the things that we're doing, and the ideas that you throw at me, and the guidance that you've been giving me. So Yeah, definitely appreciate you guys. You
Yeah, of
know,
course, man. Of course. Josh, I like you, bro. I love talking to you. I love, hopping on these calls. I'm just like, I start freaking out whenever I text you. I'm like, man, I just responded me in 2 days. It's like, I remember this one time where I called you, I texted you, and I just wanted to pick up on you. I was like, yo, how's the ads going? And then I wasn't hearing from you. I'm like, we got to a problem. Like, he's pretty good at responding. Should I? I started to worry a little. And
no,
then,
never, man. I go through moments. I hate the phone. I hate because I'm on the phone 24/7. You know what I mean? Like even though like I'm not on it as much as I used to be now since I started putting the sales team together. But it's just still like it's nonstop. Like it's just nonstop, especially like I was so because I'm looking at getting a facility, I started looking into like, SBA loans and things like that, trying to like figure out like a safe way to kind of get what I need to go without having to put out that initial capital, so to say.
yeah.
Started looking into things, and the amount of calls I be getting from that thing now, it's like nonstop, and they literally don't stop. Like I'll answer and I'll talk to them, and like they'll start talking. I'm like, your introduction sucked, and I'll hang up. Bro, it's so bad. I judge them. I judge people so bad since going through the academy and all that stuff. Like I'll let them start talking. I'm like, who trains you? Like, who trains you, bro? Like you're in sales. You're terrible, man. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, man. Like your intro's terrible. Your fact finding, you never did it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bro, that's
Like
one
I feel like a pro. Like I straight up feel like I'm a guru in some sales.
dude, it's crazy. It's crazy just because before I like started all this too. I was just more behind the scenes. I was always just behind the scenes, just the numbers guy, running the ads. It wasn't until I started getting into proximity, was really hanging out with, different people, and I'm just like, it's all about sales. Like literally like it's all sales.
Everything's a sale.
And
Everything's a sale.
yeah, that what if what is it like if I could would you even on like in the personal life, dude, it works so well. Dude. It works so well, dude.
I know. Get a disagreement with your wife, right? And they're going at it, and you're trying to like spit your case a little bit, and then your mind just starts thinking. Because like once you master that skill set, every every conversation in your mind is just it's a sale. So it's like, well, I got the solution. Like here, I can give you the solution. Is it worth whatever it may?
Yeah.
I can if I could take the trash out in the next 30 seconds, is it gonna make you happy? Like whatever it may be, right? It's hilarious. No,
Oh, it
that
is.
that one little line
Mm-hmm.
is such a gem, and you would never think it is until people that know what they're talking about and are there to educate you on that say it, and it makes you think differently. Like you're right. Like
Yeah.
why did I never think of that?
No, it's crazy. I mean, tell you, I've learned so much, and I've grown so much, especially when it comes to sales, because that was my biggest weakness. It was I did sales before. I did sales, I tried sales because I was afraid of it. I'm like, I have to try it. I never really got the sales training or anything. I just got a script and it was in Spanish too for solar. And I'm just like, cause I was running the ads for a guy. I'm like, hey, I want to try it out. You know what I mean? Always like to mention myself. It was, it was, definitely not what I expected, but it wasn't until I started really, really learning about sales and got the right information then everything started clicking and I'm just like, dang, like everything's making sense. But I feel like my biggest like aha moment that like for my company it does make a lot of money because we use it all the time. But in my personal life too, I use it and marriage I use it like, if I could with you, like that right there is just
Yeah, it's a game changer.
hmm
What do you say to it? Like if I could fix that problem, why would you not want me to fix it for you?
hmm
It's very simple. All you got to do is say yeah. Like that's it. Just yes. Yes.
no, it is wild, So it's always this like I guess never ending cycle of just learning just sucking it in. And that's one of the biggest things that I tell a lot of people when they come in here, because sometimes they're not really into that mindset of learning. And I always tell people, just download the school app, just listen to whatever you can and just be in self-development. And for me, it's just like there's two people I really just listen to. One is Mike Barron, and two is Alex Ramosi. And I just listen to both of those people, like a lot of like the only like I recently just listened to music like again just because Bad Bunny came with a new album. But besides that, it was just nothing but like on YouTube just learning or just
Yeah,
absorbing.
no, absolutely. Well, it's the mindset. It's all about changing that mindset, right? Like, yeah, do I like music? Absolutely, I like music, right?
Mhm.
I listen to it when I clean, right?
Mhm.
Where I want to self develop, especially now, being a business owner, because I knew nothing about business for real. Like, similar to you, like I joined the academy originally just to get better at the sales side of things. Like, I'm good with the dog. I'm good with interacting with people.
Mhm.
Uh, When it came to sales, like I knew nothing about sales, and I was very like, "Oh, you're not interested? Peace, whatever."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? Like, okay, cool. Who cares? Right? Where no, man, I want that person more. The person that's like not interested, or the person that says they're not interested and they hang up on you, like, I'm gonna get you. It
Yeah,
may not be today, it may not be today, but I'm gonna get you sometime.
yeah.
Right? For me, I joined originally just to get better at the sales aspect of things. That's literally what I went into the academy for to start off with. And then just became addicted. Like, especially like in the beginning when I first joined, because
Yeah.
there's so much information that was put out there by Mike. Like he puts out so much information. Like I felt like I was a little like I was a stalker. Like it was crazy. Like I would listen to the academy and just listen and listen and listen and listen. Like I'm driving, I'm listening. I'm in the house, when I would be watching like TV before, I'm listening. I'm doing some HR stuff. Like I literally have it on my phone, on the laptop or whatever, like playing in the background. I was going to sleep instead of like watching TV. I literally would just hit the academy and just listen. I literally was like having dreams, and I swear to God, Mike was in my dream because I would hear him talk. Like it was met the dude. I met the dude like one time. Like I literally met him once in my life, like 2 years ago, and like going through the academy, I swear to God, I was like dreaming, and like it was like I was sitting. It's like I was sitting in this freaking building in San Diego, just listening to him do a mastermind or whatever the case may be. Like I was like, I'm literally dreaming of listening to the academy. Like it was crazy. I was like, this is stupid. This is dumb. Why am I hearing him? Like I always like hear his voice when I'm doing something. I was
Mhm.
like watching it constantly, like can constantly hear. Like even earlier, I freaking caught myself. I use this phrase. Long story longer. Like little things like that, and I catch it all the time, and it's not when I first started like getting into that, you know, building, like just building yourself up. It was listening to his stuff and just listening to it and listening to it on repeat. And I would literally be sleeping and hearing it. Whether it was just it playing in the background, that's what I went to sleep to, or it was like me actually having a physical dream of like
Yeah, yeah.
watching a webinar. Like, what is going on? All I do is hear Mike in my head. All I do is hear Mike talking.
Well, that's one of the reasons why you're like where you're at right now, just because you're always in self-development.
And we're nowhere close. Like no, like yeah, we've had some amazing months without never in a million years thought I would ever achieve, but nowhere close to where we're going to be, or where we need to be in our reality. And, now like cool, we've hit these pretty big months that weren't originally goals, and now it's like, well, I hit it once, now I got to continue, now I got to continue to hit them.
Yeah.
But it's like now it's about being consistent at that number
Mhm.
and scale.
Yeah.
Like the conversation we were having today. Now it's all about it's scale.
Yep.
It's scale.
Exactly.
Scale.
Exactly. That's no, that's good. And I feel, bro, the thing is like I have a lot of people like on Instagram who hit me up on my personal one that I went to school with and all this stuff. They're like, hey, like, where do I start? Well, how can I start? Like I wanna start my own business. I wanna do X, Y, and Z. Like start with your mindset. Like first I genuinely think that the mindset is the foundation because if you don't have the right mindset when things get tough, you are gonna quit. You're gonna think that this isn't for you. And entrepreneurship and when you get into business, like it's a roller coaster. There's this phrase that really stood to me. It's like entrepreneurship is like jumping off of cliff and building your airplane as building your plane as you're, falling, as you're going down. You, you have to start with your mindset. They just kind of like, oh, like, this guy full of bull crap or whatever. Like, they don't really take it serious, but in all reality, like, that's the reason why, I gone really, really up high, and I got really, 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 like, really, really low point in my life.
Yeah.
But it was the mindset of like, there was a point where I listened to Think and Grow Rich every single day for 5 hours while I was like, driving, because I got to a point where I was like, just driving, doing like DoorDash and trying to get myself back up again because the business went down, and then, this whole like 5 hours, 6 hours that I was doing that, I was literally just Think and Grow Rich, because that's the first book that I read that got me to like up there. So it was just mindset, working on my mindset, because I'm like, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to use this time as much as possible to get right. And that's what I did, and that's the reason why it's like, I strongly feel that, no matter like, I strongly feel that I can achieve whatever I can, whatever I put my mind to, like, no matter how hard it is going to be, like, I can achieve it, and
Absolutely.
and I feel like, and I feel like you too, and you say that, you reach all these, all these goals, all these milestones, but then you're like, all right, so what's next? And you know that we're not near close to like the very top, So it's mindset that really gets us into like, just never stop. That's it. Just keep
No, you bro, stagnant, it's gonna kill you.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you get stagnant, you're gonna fail.
Mm-hmm.
You got, and it's funny because I never understood it before. Like I didn't get it. Like the person that I worked for in the past, like I never understood, like, dude, like we got like 15, 20 dogs in the facility at one time that were working, like we're doing like 6-figure months. How is that not enough? How, like, legitimately, how is that not enough for you? And you just can't get stagnant. Like, you got to just keep, and it's not that, like, yeah, 6-figure months it's amazing. No, there's what, maybe 1% of the population in the world can say they achieved that in our reality, but like, it's not even about the money at that point. It's just about that growth for you. Like, yeah, the money's great, but it could be better.
Right,
But like, I just didn't understand it back then. Like I didn't. I was, like, legitimately was ignorant towards it. Like, how is this not enough for you? Like how is it not enough? And then again, then that's not factoring in, all the expenses. You paying your contractors, you paying your employees, you paying your facility rate, you're paying the electric bills, you're paying, you got to live, you got to pay yourself. So it's like, all that adds up. So like, it's great where it's like, yeah, man, like I just had a, $50,000 month, like, holy crap. And it's like, yeah, where'd all that money go? Well, remember last month when you only did 10K? Like, you got bills. Like you got to pay off the business credit cards. You got to pay off the personal credit card that you put the business expense on because you needed that extra money or whatever. Like, you don't realize all the extra expenses. Or, hey, now I got employees. Like, now, like, cool, that's not mine anymore. Like, yeah, I made this, but I got to give them their percentage or whatever the case may be. So like, yeah, right. But then also now it's my responsibility because they're depending on me. I'm not just supporting me now. Now I'm supporting other families. That's how they put food on the table. So if I fail, I'm failing them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm failing them and their family now. So now, like, the stresses of just being a business owner, it's a different perspective.
No, it is, because I feel the same way too. I'm just like, all right, well, I now I have, people that I'm paying and they're relying on me to pay them. So it's like, okay, I have to, go twice as hard now just because everyone that, works at Canine, like, I generally, love all of them. Like, I think they're all human beings. I feel like the reason why they're there is just because, we buy good asset to the team. So I care about them, so it's like, it's something where it's more motivation, but at the same time, it's like a little, stress. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I have to, I have to, step it up. I can't, just, not just say have like a day off, but I can't, be slacking. I can't, go off my routine. Like, I have to be in the same mindset and always just developing, because now I have people who depend on me, and especially, like, for example, Jose, my brother, like now he works with, he's like the senior media buyer at Canine, and now he just had his second kid. So now I'm just like, now it's like, like have family members here that are relying on me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Bro, look, when I started my business for me personally, I was like, I'm tired of, working like a slave, working all these hours and only being compensated, and I was making decent money. I was making six figures, but it was like, what's my butt to make them six figures? Like it's 365. Like because I don't take days off. Like for me, like there's no reason for me to take a day off in all reality. Plus I play with dogs all day, you know?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't taking any time off. So like, but I was grinding and I was like, I could be making triple the amount that I'm making if I'm by myself, right? So I was like, I can work way less. Like I start my own business. I only got to pull like 10 to 12K a month. That's like 3, 4 dogs a month. Oh, and I'm used to working like 6 dogs at a time. You mean I only got to work 3 or 4 for a month and that's it. That was
Yeah.
my,
Yeah.
like, that's literally what my goal was. I wanted to work like 3, 4 dogs. That's it. That's all I
Mm.
wanted to do. And now I'm like, nah, man, we got to go. Now I got to can't put a freaking team together. Like, holy moly. Like I still can't get over it. But that's from me finding the right people, getting in proximity with you guys, and getting pushed, right? Because in all
Yeah.
reality, if I would have never joined the academy and ended up where we are together there, like I would have, nope, I would have been okay sitting where I was before,
Yeah.
figuring it out, struggling.
Yeah.
Now it's great. If I don't know something and it's a struggle, cool. It's a quick little text like, I have no idea what to do here. What do I do? I need ideas. Like, help me out here. Like, you have any ideas for this? Like, yeah, great. Here you go. Thank you.
Yeah. And I feel like just the networking, just the
Oh
road.
yeah, no, like the networking is crazy, and that's not even tapping into close to the amount of networking that we have right now. Like a fraction of it, just that small little community.
I know. No, it's a crazy stuff. It's fun though. It's fun. It's
Oh,
a
it's
lot,
definitely a fun ride.
but
You got to
it's
enjoy.
fun.
You got to enjoy the ride. Like we're all laughing and joking now, but then tomorrow we're gonna be cursing each other out. And like, what the, like, what are you doing? Like, what is going on here? Why are my ads not running? Or like, why is this stalled? Or
Oh yeah.
how come you haven't sent me this video yet that I've been asking for 3 months?
Oh yeah. Trust me. Like for me, like I'm always on the grind. Like I can be working 15, 16, 18 hours, and they just go by stupid fast, like crazy fast, right? And I'm just, I still got a lot to do. And like for me, like on the weekends too, like I do make some time and also, work and stuff. But it's like for me, it's like so long story short, when I got married, we decided not to get married through like have a big ceremony because we were gonna have a big ceremony. It's gonna be like 25K or like whatever. Let's just travel instead. So we've been doing that. So, but anytime I go places, my laptop is not to goes with me everywhere, like everywhere. And if like
That's true.
it has to, yeah. And there's been some times where I'm just like, crap, like I'm in a different country and I have some huge SOS here that I gotta pay. So I'm just like, hey, like, just give me 10 minutes, and 10 minutes turns into like, 30, 40 minutes, but much longer. But I'm like, just give me some time to like, fix this. But yeah, just it's a never ending grind.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, it's definitely wild, but it's fun. It's a fun ride, and we're all learning together and growing together, and we're building empires, and we got the right people, and then who knows what this will lead to in the future. Outside the dog side of things,
Yeah.
sky's the limit with what we can do.
And one thing that I do want to do though, because you mentioned something that like you like train like rescue dogs, like it ever comes to a point, where you train a dog and then you want to look for a home for them, like bro, I can run ads for the
Oh
dog,
yeah, actually, no, absolutely.
and then that's essentially what I want to do and branch out of canine and just do something like that where I'm just helping dogs as much as possible find their forever home, but they do need to have like the training because you're absolutely right. You did mention that sometimes they don't get the training and then they're just back at the animal shelter.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Sweet.
it's wild. Yeah, man, definitely good times. Definitely good times, and this 2025 is gonna be fun. It's
It is.
definitely gonna.
It is. It is going to be fun. Happy that I started this podcast with you. It was definitely a lot of fun.
I appreciate. Hey, I like being the first with you, man.
Hey, you're the first one to get the plaque, bro.
Hey, that plaque is dope. Plaque is dope.
Oh yeah, I had a call with someone today, like an onboarding, and he was like, "Bro, it's like I've been following forever, and for a while now, and like I've seen what you've been doing on Instagram, where like doing like teasing people with the unboxing. I don't know if you've been following Canine Conversion on Instagram, but I've just been like teasing people like, oh, what's in the box, like, and like I will like be in bed with laying with like the box next to me, and then I'm just like teasing, and like yes.
Nice.
I did post something where I'm just like I opened it, but I didn't reveal like what's inside. So I'm just like I have that video that I'm gonna post today because I just wanted to make sure that I showed it to all our clients first. That way I'm building that suspense. But he was like, bro, it's like I literally had this in my mind where I wish there was some sort of like a Grammy Award looking thing where like for dog trainers to be like both recognized. And as soon as I saw like the fact that you have that now is just like crazy. So I'm glad it's definitely trying to make a start a movement and start a community with people of dog trainers and really reward them for like the hard work and the fact that we're saving dogs and better and building better relationships with them with
Yeah, man.
dogs. So awesome, Josh. So Josh, do you want to share your Instagram? That way anybody who anybody watching this can
All social
follow
media
you on any
platforms
social
at
medias.
Coastal Canine. Yes, sir.
Coastal Canine Academy. All right, Josh. Well, Josh, you very much, and
Yes, sir.
it was such a
Well,
pleasure to
top.
have you on. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. It was I was nervous, but it was fun. So we'll definitely have another one.